What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Anthony Joshua is coming out on offense now, saying what's on his mind. He's the Charles Barkley of boxing now. He says what's on his mind. He don't hold nothing back. He said Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are freezing him out. He said both guys have fights lined up, and he says don't talk to him about them until they're both are free. He said they have conspired together to freeze him out. They got both fights set up right now for November and December, and they are both slated to meet each other in February 22nd. And he says that pretty much takes him out of the equation until 2021. He says he's solely focused on Andy Ruiz in the rematch. He said before the first fight, when Gerald Big Baby Miller was pulled off the card because he failed more tests than a crash dummy. He failed a whole lot of tests, man. He failed. And he was pulled from the card. He said Eddie Hearn brought him a list of opponents, a list that consisted of Andy Ruiz and Michael Hunter and Manuel Char. And he chose the best fighter of that bunch, which was Andy Ruiz. He said he couldn't fight a guy like Char because, you know, the public would never let him live that down. They would hold that against him, and they would pretty much blast him from picking Manuel Char. He said he can't get away with picking bad opponents. So he basically firing shots at Tyson Fury for fighting Otto Wallin. That's basically what he's saying. So he said he's focused on that, and he's not going to get caught up in the game of when you're going to fight Wilder, when you're going to fight Fury. You know, the game that he was playing before the Ruiz fight. But it's kind of interesting, you know, after he lost to Andy Ruiz, if people remember, he said the reason why he lost, he said, one, he had a lot of excuses, but one of the excuses he used was he was looking past Andy to a potential fight with Deontay Wilder, you know. And everybody know that before that fight, before he fought Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder had already let his plans known that he was fighting Luis Ortiz next. They was talking about September at that time, and then he was going to fight Tyson Fury early 2020. So those plans were already known to AJ. So he was playing crazy with the public and saying that he was looking past Andy Ruiz to a potential Deontay Wilder fight when he knew Wilder already had 2 fights lined up. So that's a contradiction in itself. Now he's saying, well, don't talk to me about that. You know, everybody knows they got fights already set up with each other, and they got fights coming up in November and December. Okay, you should have said, why didn't you say that before the Ruiz fight? Because Wilder had these 2 fights lined up before you fight Andy Ruiz the first time. Tyson Fury didn't have anything lined up. You know, we knew that he was going to come back and fight in September. I don't think that Tom Schwartz fight was announced at the time, but we all knew that Fury was going to fight a couple of tune-ups before he fought Wilder. That was known. He had already said that's the reason why he signed with ESPN and left the negotiations with Deontay Wilder when they thought they had a deal on the table for 50-50 to fight in the rematch. So everybody already knew that Tyson Fury wasn't going to fight anybody with any kind of threat to beat him. He was going to fight a couple of tune-ups and then try to cash out against Wilder. So he knew that going into the fight. So for him to say that now is kind of rich to me. So, but anyway, that's AJ coming out of his shell, talking and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Eddie Hearn don't really want him to talk a lot, because he contradicts himself. He makes a statement now, and then you can use a statement that he made previously and kind of contradict that, and you can come back at AJ. But a lot of those reporters, especially those UK reporters, they love AJ and they're not gonna challenge him on anything, so they let him make it with the contradictions. But it's a contradiction nonetheless. So we'll see what happens, man. But AJ is being big, bold, and bad, man, and came out of his shell, man. He's talking much noise, You know the statements he made earlier when Andy Ruiz was threatening not to go to Saudi Arabia. He told Andy Ruiz to tell his mom to drop the belts off at his doorstep, stuff like that. Remixing what he said to Gerald Big Baby Miller about his mom, that he was going to pay her rent, and he was blowing kisses to her at the first press conference in New York, stuff like that, man. So AJ is coming out of his closet, man. So I guess Eddie Hearn said, all right, AJ, you can come on out and talk, man. I'm not going to just be your mouthpiece 100%, man. You got to speak on your own. The public is saying that you go into hibernation for long stretches. They don't hear from you. You disappear. And now you need to come on out, man. You lost your fight. People saying that you're through, you're over, you're done. you know, you quit against Ruiz, man, you're going to have to come out and speak, man. I can only speak so much. You know, you need to speak on your own, man, to add credence to your argument that, you know, that was a fluke, and, you're hell bent on getting your undisputed belts back, your unified belts back. So that's where we're at right now, man. We'll see what transpires, man, in the coming days, man. But one thing I did like that Andrew Ruiz and his team got concessions. They're getting more than $9 million. They're getting vital drug testing, like testing was in the first fight. They're getting a UX boxing commission representative to go down there and help oversee the event in Saudi Arabia. They're going to get judges and referees with at least 40 world championship fights under their belts. So they're going to have an experienced referee, experienced judges. That's one thing they was worried about, getting some inexperienced judges out there that don't know how to judge fights, don't know what to look for in fights. So they're going to have, like I said, let me repeat this. They're going to have a referee with 40 plus world championship fights experience. And they're going to have 3 judges, and each one of those 3 judges will have at least 40 plus world championship fights experience. So that's a good thing, man. So things are going to be on an even playing field. Can't wait for the event. The only thing that needs to be answered is, where will this fight be shown on? Will it be on the Zone? Will it be on Showtime pay-per-view? Will it be on Fox pay-per-view? That's what we're waiting on next. If they want to maximize their money, they need to put this fight on pay-per-view. It's pay-per-view. It's a huge demand for this fight. It's a huge anticipation for this fight. So they need to put this fight on pay-per-view. Now, I know Eddie Hearn got a huge site fee. I think it was $40 million site fee from Saudi Arabia. So his pockets are lined up. He probably ain't tripping on nothing else. But the fighters, where they can make their money, like I said, Andy Ruiz is gonna get what he's gonna get. He's gonna be more than $9 million. AJ's probably gonna get something close to what he made in the first fight, $30 million or maybe more. But you can maximize your money and put this fight on a pay-per-view. And you can really make your money. Even Eddie, Eddie and the fighters can even make their money, make more money for this fight. The event can produce more revenue if they put it on pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what transpires. Nothing like that to be announced. If I had to guess, they might do some kind of collaboration where it's shown on maybe on the Zone platform, and then it's shown on a USA platform. Whether it be Fox pay-per-view or Showtime pay-per-view. And that's where the U.S. fans and the Latino fans and the UK fans, which will be watching the fight on JBsports pay-per-view, will be able to watch the fight, man. Get more eyeballs watching this fight. The more eyeballs watching this fight, the better it is for the fighters and their profiles and the overall event of the fight. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.